chapter, we're going to see flowcharts. This kind of question actually is interesting due to its diagram as well as blanks in it. And this is still a listening module. All right. Now what happens in flowchart is, let me show you an example here. There is kind of a flow where information is there in a sequence, right? So there's a diagram where we have a box where we provide information, and with an arrow it shows the direction of the information. So I'll say there's a process being described in the form of an image. I drew this image. We have an arrow showing the direction of the information. I provide a blank here that will be filled while listening to the audio. This is what flowchart is. Information in a sequence. Okay. Now this generally comes up in section 2 and 3. Hence it can be a little bit difficult or can be easy, relatively compared to the third one. I would still call it in the medium category, not as difficult as multiple choice questions, not as easy as blanks. It's kind of okay. All right. Now let's see an example to get a better idea of what I just described initially, or try to describe. Now look at this. See this, there's something called diagram or title of the flowchart, that is session outline. The first step itself talks about project topic. Then we have tutorial structure. You see there's a sequence being maintained, and this is what we call flowchart. I'm going to play the audio, and your task is to find the answer number 21, 22, 23, and 24. All right, get ready. Good luck.
Section 3. You will hear a conversation between a peer tutor and an engineering student who needs help with a project. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 24. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 24.
Hi, John. Thanks for seeing me today. I'm really struggling with my project. I have to come up with a design for a water treatment system, and I'm really not sure what I'm expected to do.
Well, as peer tutors, we've been taught to follow a process in these tutorials, okay? The first step is to look closely at the task instructions.
That sounds good. I'm also... well, we've been told to do some research, but I don't know where to start.
It's always hard to start with. We've got about 45 minutes today. That should give us some time to go over it. Have you done much research before?
No. This is my first project like this, and I'm really stressing out about it. I went to a seminar about research at the start of the year, but I've forgotten most of it.
Well, that's fine, because the next step in our tutorial will be to consider some common research strategies that you can use to get started. With engineering, a lot of the projects you do are practical, so you can think about how you can access other people's write-ups of similar projects.
Yes, that sounds useful. How do I find those?
Well, there's always the online databases, but you need to know what search terms to use. So, can you think of any useful terms?
Cameroon, I guess? And maybe grey water?
Yes, good. But those might not give you many hits. What about the type of research? I've always found it helpful to search for case studies, There's probably a whole lot of those on systems set up for other villages in developing countries that you could look at. I've got a couple here actually. They're on different topics, but we can look at the structure and develop some useful ways to focus your research. Is there anything else you'd like to look at today?
I can't think of anything right now. That all sounds good.
Great. Then the next step is to come up with an action plan. How long have you got?
To finish the project? 4 weeks, I think. It's due on the 6th.
Great, we are back. and I hope you got all of them correct. Now we're going to see the answer, and you can check your own answers as well in your book. The first one, which is number 21st, is task instructions. Second one is strategies. Third is case studies, and fourth is action plan. Now check in your book if you got all of them correct. If you have made a spelling mistake, keep it as incorrect for now. If you have not included S, also incorrect. It has to be exactly the same. Now, if I have included task instructions instead of just instructions, it's correct because it is provided no more than 2 words in the instructions. So I think it's fine, right? Not a problem. If it was provided no more than 1 word, then task instructions, this answer will be incorrect. You have to just say instructions. Okay, cool. After that, we have to see the pointers. Pointers, as I said, are the tips and tricks that are going to help you to get the answers correct easily. All right. The first one is definitely headings. Headings, or something we call title, going to provide you with information about what the flowchart is. Let's see an example here itself so that it gets clear to you. See, that helps you to understand the flowchart, right? So we have a flowchart here in which we have instructions like this. Flow like this, arrow is going down. On the top, there must be a title. This title is going to help you to understand the flowchart. In the example which we did, we have something called session outline. So when in the audio, I'm talking about session outline, definitely we have to, pay attention to it. This is how we should understand that what can we expect from that answer. Let's say, for an example, steps to create some kind of chemical. That means we have to listen for steps only for chemical. So the title or the heading is important. There are subheadings as well, like project topics, step 1, step 2, or tutorial structure. Also important because they're going to help you to keep as, landmark or pointer where you have to reach and then proceed. All right. The next one is the sequence. It's obviously clear by now, if you have been going through it, that sequence is most important for you to understand here, right? In this question, it is even more important for a reason. There are arrows, right? These arrows are indicating from one process to another. And if this is not the sequence, then what is, right? Let's see an example. We have here first step. Definitely we have to go to the next step. And next step is about what? Tutorial structure. That means this is the step 1. Then we go to the next step. What is it about? About the research. Hence, sequence is always maintained in audios and even in the flowchart. They're not going to be talking about this first, and then go back to step 1 and then come to step 3. It's not possible. What they're going to do is talk about this first and then next one, and then, the same way the order will be maintained. Okay, cool. You have to do one more thing. You have to follow the speaker even if there are no blanks in the sequence. What I mean by no blanks, again, the example. If you look at the first statement, then there's no question here, right? Project topic, design a water treatment system. They're going to talk about it. There are no blanks. You should pay attention to it. The reason is you shouldn't be doing this. You should be doing it because I don't want you to miss the track or lose the track of the audio. Let's say you found the answer for the 21st one and you found the answer for the 22nd one. Now, I understand you want to get the answer of 23rd one, but there's information between the 22nd and 23rd. You should also read this information to understand, this information is over. Hence, I can go to the next one after that. What if you don't read this? You'll be confused. So even if there are no questions in any statement, it's important that you read them. You follow the sequence. Okay? Just for your benefit so that you don't lose track in this kind of question, that is flowchart. Cool. The next one is predicting the answer. This has been similar to many of the other questions we have, where the question is blank based. like summary completion, sentence completion, flowchart completion is this one. So we have to predict based on the blank. Now, if you look at the 21st one, go over something. It could be a wall, it could be some kind of shape, some kind of thing. You have to go over something. Think about research what? Research something, research topic, research opinion, whatever it is. Right. Same way you can think of the last one. Develop an something. Or see, another hint they have provided us is this N. So definitely it's going to start with either sounding as a vowel or with a vowel. Okay. So this is predicting the answer. And see, as I said, N, it must be starting with a vowel or sounding as a vowel. That's why it's called action plan. See? Second one, go over something, that is instructions. So all of the answers are making sense according to the 1 or 2 words before the blank. You see, research strategies, an action plan. So there you go. Predicting an answer will help you before you even listen to the audio in the 30-second time you're provided before the question being played. So they're going to say, you have 30 seconds to read the question 21 to 24. Then you can read the questions, underline the important things that are 2 to 3 words before the blanks and predict the answer. Okay, good. The last one is similar pointers. What is the meaning of similar pointers? We have described pointers from earlier question, under earlier types of question, for example, sentence completion, or let's say MCQs, where we have talked about a number of words. We have talked about many things like quick reading, or let's say speed reading. All these pointers will be applicable to this kind of question as well. I just didn't want to repeat those like 10 times. So I already repeated them most of the time, but here you should go back and watch the video. If you have watched the video and you want to revise, wonderful. That will help you to understand the previous question as well as this question. Yes, so please go back, watch video number 9, 10, 11. You will get all the pointers clear and you will be able to solve this question even quicker. Okay, great then. Now, as I said, following mainly about sentence completion will finish most of the pointers, because it has all the word count information about how to find blanks, because these are blanks more or less, right? If we look at flowchart, we have sentences in boxes, but they are blanks. They are sentence completion with sequence, isn't it? So that way you can take pointers from sentence completion and find the answer for this kind of question. All right, great. And that will be the end of the chapter.